So, that wasn't really much of an episode. Just go on. Boruto's talking to Kagura. Watching him train, and yeah. Then Mr. Shizuma comes in and just like traumatizes fucking Kagura out here. When he goes to punch him, all the 7 ninja swordsmen come, and Boruto goes for and the lightning girl says, "Is that you call that a lightning attack?" And she goes for her own. Christian jumps down and goes. He goes. He goes, "I'll show you a lightning attack." He goes, then just spams hands on going, he says, "Lightning style, lightning stream." Then hits them all, but doesn't really do anything. Then he goes for a strike. Then the sword dude goes for a strike. He goes, "Ah." He catches it and goes, then he gives him a death stare with the shotting gun going. Then snaps his sword in half. Then kicks him back. Then he goes. Dick it. Dick it. Oi, oi. Ma. Dick it. Oi, oi. Ma. Boruto. Then he says, "I'll show you what a true shinobi does." He goes. Then he throws down a smoke bomb. Then he goes throwing a shuriken. Throwing about 20 lightning shuriken. He says, "Huh, weak." But then the shuriken miss her on purpose. But she says, "They missed, huh? Such bad aim." He says, "Is that so?" He says, "Shuriken Shadow-Clone Jutsu!" And more lightning shuriken come, and then he says, "Have you ever seen these before?" And pulls them all down with ninja wire. He goes, "Ah!" They feel the water is getting hotter. Then boom, they're all hit straight up in the air. He goes, "Oi, oi, oi. He says, "You better get back." Then he backflips. And he goes, "This kid's good." He says, "Isn't he part of that prestigious Uchiha clan?" Then he goes, would you like to be stabbed 1,000,000 times?" Then he goes, and puts one of them in a genjutsu. He says, "Now you, Shark Boy, I heard you're related to Kisame Hoshigaki, part of the Akatsuki." He goes, Boruto does his lethal Boruto stream, and he says, "You call that?" He says, "Damn, Boruto." When Boruto goes for it, he jumps up in the air. Christian even boosts him up with a wind-style Gale Palm, blasting him even forward. He says, "Go, Boruto!" And he's much faster this time, but his lightning stack still does nothing. Christian isn't smiling. But since there's one less, it's a little bit easier. Then he gets really mad. Then he activates a Sharingan. And he literally just destroys them. He says, "You guys might want to get back here, and then I'll show you a beatdown." He says, "What's a little kid like you gonna do?" He goes, "Huh." He says, "What's a little weakling kid like you?" He goes, That's what the other guy does. That's what they all do. He goes, Christian says, "You call that an evil laugh?" He goes, "I'll show you one." He goes, "I'll show you a psycho." He goes, everyone is like, "That is a psycho laugh if I've seen one." He says, then he says, "I think it's time I teach y'all a lesson." Then he cracks his knuckles and then goes, and then disappears. He says, "Behind you." He says, "Nah, I'm in front of you." "Nah, I'm in all the four corners where you guys are at. Fireball jutsu, you don't stand a chance. Hey, 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 hey. Is that a donkachi? I don't know what that means though. He goes, I don't even know what that is. I mean, I know what it is. I still don't know what that means. Boruto goes, we're skipping to board. He said that's a percent. Alright, there we go. Christian on the other hand goes, stop saying Usura Donkachi, it's really getting to get on my nerves. He says, "Oh, I learned a new word. Hooray!" Look, I don't even give a crap about this field trip arc. So when Sasuke returns home, when Christian returns home, Christian started to return home from the field trip. Well, actually, after the start of Uchiha arc, and he returned from the academy, he says, "Hey Dad, look, guess what I learned? I learned a new word." He goes, "Let's hear it." He says, "Sakura." He says, "Yeah, Sasuke?" He says, "Apparently Christian learned a new word." He says, "Let's hear it." He goes, he goes, he faints and says, "That's Sasuke." He says, "That's my word." He goes, "Oops. It's not my fault." He goes, "I don't even know what that means." Yeah, and I'll never tell you. He goes, "Why? Is it bad?" He goes, "No, I just don't feel like telling you." He goes, "Whenever." He says, "Well, I'm gonna go practice spamming shuriken." He says, "Don't waste them." He says, "I'm not. I'm just gonna use them and just hold them in the air." Then he gets in his room, and instantly they hear a yell, an angry yell. He goes, "Ah, damn it!" Sarada walks through him saying, "Are you okay?" He says, "No! No!" He says, "What's wrong?" He says, "I don't have enough storage on my goddamn game system to update the game because I added another 50 levels. God damn it!" She says, "That's what you're mad about?" He goes, 100% no cap. "I'm gonna go to Boruto's house. See if he already has the level." Then he jumps over, then he body flickers to Boruto's house and knocks on the door. He says, "Hey Boruto, He says, do you want to play the video game? He says, I don't care. Sure, I'm down. He says, did you get the new update? Can you download your update? Because I obviously can't, because I ran out of goddamn storage. He goes, that's what you get for taking so many pictures. He says, I don't take pictures. Sarda says you take pictures all the time. He says, you really gonna believe her? Nah, I don't. He says, well, I got it instantly. He says, wow, extra storage much? He says, well, I got the premium edition, which gave you 264 gigabytes. You got the 64 gigabytes. He goes, damn you, damn it, why? He says, maybe I should use some of that money to buy the premium game system. He says, why do you even bother playing the levels? Just wait till the new game comes out. He says, then what the hell is the point of playing the game? He goes, oh yeah, forgot about that. He goes, damn, no. Then Himori walks in and says, Oni-chan, do you want to play? He goes, he asks Christian if he wants to play with Himori. He says, I'm bored. I never have anything to do in my day. Besides the academy, once we get out of there, I'm just bored the rest of the day. He goes, let's do it. Then they do some role play with the plushies going, wait, what happened to the bear? He says, Himori goes, Oni-chan ripped it. He goes, wow, Boruto, that's smart. Ripping up your sister's little toy. He says, look, we were having a tug of war to see because we had to rush to the Hokage inaugurate. So, okay, so leave me alone. He goes, alright, well, what was the aftermath of that? He says, I got sent through a wall, kind of, and she broke tons of her teacups. He says, excuse me, what? Then they have dinner. He goes, oh, I can't decide which is better. My mom's or your mom's Boruto. I cannot decide. It's too much, but I'm gonna have to put them equally, 50-50, or 100-100. I love both. I cannot decide. Damn it! So I don't get you. So I don't get you. He says, what does that even mean? He says, I don't know. What does Daptabasa mean then? He goes, I think it's, you know? He says, because it's definitely not believe it. He says, then Naruto busts on the door going, who insults my word? He goes, oh, hi, Lord Seventh. He goes, and this, when you're in here, you can call me Naruto. He goes, okay. Naruto. He says, then he goes, oh, so it means you idiot. Then Christian finds out what it means. He says, so I thought it was Kono Baka that means you idiot. Apparently it's Usarandoguchi. So whenever I get annoyed, whenever someone gets annoying, I say, Usarandoguchi. He says, now I'm just gonna go expose my new word. Then he says, who can say their word the longest? Is it Naruto or is it Boruto? He says, what do you mean? He says, you say Daptabayo, he says Daptabasa. Who could say it more? He says, let's see you say it first, Naruto. Christian goes, my ears have popped! You know, I don't want to continue this. My ears hurt. I have a feeling my eardrums are gonna pop. Sasuke saying Katon. Yeah, I want to hear Sasuke going, Katon. He says, I kind of hope we can become Chunin and Genin soon. He says, He says, look, and then he says, Naruto? How long did it... Okay, look, he's gonna call him Lord Seventh, and Naruto says, he can't do it. He says, Lord Seventh, did my dad used to call you a loser? He goes, every day. I mean, every day. He says, doesn't that count as bullying then? He says, half yes, half no. He goes, he says, oh wait, that's what Ursula Donkachi means. He means loser. I think, I don't know.
Such a loser.
He says, allow me to repeat my dad then. I'm not saying this to you. I'm gonna say this to my... He says, clone jutsu. He says, wait, no, then I'll call myself a loser. Nah. He goes... He says, I can do my dad's impressions. You want to hear it? He goes, sure. He goes...
Such a loser.
He goes, teach! He goes, how? 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 This, you were literally imitating everything Sasuke says. He says, it's not that hard. So I guess loser means... Alright, look, I'm gonna go now, people. This is